I had somebody write in about the Cole Bishop conversation, and this is something that tends to come with August. It's from Bartman, who said, you feel the football team to win games. You don't feel to say, look at our sick defense. I hope they're better. But an entire region clenching about a second-year safety is nauseating. And I would just say about the Cole Bishop conversation, I don't think that everybody here is clenching, to use his term. I think there's honest concern, questions about what's happening at safety. It was a problem last year. You brought everybody back with the idea that this one guy was going to be ready. And the biggest conversation about that position is whether or not this guy is going to be ready. It's still a conversation. He's not been on the field. The head coach says he needs the reps. And yesterday with us, Sal said that maybe Jordan Hancock could start to see some looks there. So I don't think anybody is panicking. You get fans that do that a lot. Oh, everybody's freaking out. I don't think there's a lot of freak out. I think we're just talking about a team that's going to try and win the Super Bowl and need to make stops against Lamar and Mahomes. Oh, they're still going to win 13 games. Yeah, we all kind of know that. But that's not really the game anymore. The game is, what are they going to do about this thing that might be a weakness? You don't think they're talking about Bishop inside the building? They're certainly talking about it. They're talking about how he needs reps. Maybe they're talking about how they have faith in it, but they're talking about it.
And he is, to me, the key to getting rid of a limitation that you had last year. When they lined up to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, they wanted to throw a wrinkle in of playing more man coverage. And their safety, at least Hamlin, if not Rapp too, got exposed. At multiple times, Kansas City getting him on a receiver, and it's just good night. It's not even close. Bishop is not, I don't think, supposed to be like a guy that could cover those receivers man on man and do well every time. But he's a player that I would think with his athleticism, can you hold your own? Because I know Hamlin or even Rapp in coverage in that situation is going to get exposed. Is going to get, that's where the ball is going 100% of the time. This guy, all right, can you cover him every third time, every other time, and do well at that so that I can play man and not be terrified of it? Because that's kind of how last year went. And just, is there any sign that you should feel confident about that? That he's going to be an upgrade over what you had? He's different. He's more athletic. He's younger. I might get more mental mistakes and more splash plays. Maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know if it's a great thing.
It sounds like you're painting Kyer Elam.
A little bit,
right? Like splash plays and mistakes.
I think that might be what we're headed for if he's on the field.
Well, the thing about the safety position also that separates it from the rest of the defensive conversation is it's the piece of the defense that really didn't get any attention this offseason. You got Derek Forrest. That's really it, right? What happened at defensive end?
And Hancock.
Jordan Hancock.
But we didn't even know he was a safety when they drafted him.
He's nickel, maybe safety, whatever. But what did the defensive line get? Let's just go ends. Bosa, Landon Jackson, Michael Hoyt, kind of.
Michael Hoyt.
Defensive tackle, what did they get? Ogunjobi, Sanders, Deion Walker. Like 3 premium assets. Linebacker, the Bills don't play a lot of linebackers, and they didn't add any because
they have to.
They have 2, right, and they don't really need anything there. Secondary, what'd they get? First-round pick, Trey White, Dane Jackson. These guys are returning, but they're guys that were not on the team that they brought back.
They tried to get Jair Alexander at one point.
So they
were going after it.
They upgraded. They paid attention to a lot of spots, and the one spot that they kept the same, and this might actually give you confidence if you want to go there. That's fine. The one spot they kept the same was safety. He didn't make any change there. It's Rapp and Bishop. And we've talked a few times going back to the draft that 48 hours before the draft, where the conversation was a lot about Malachi Starks, Sal came on and said, guys, they like their room. They like their room. They're not going to do that. They like who they've got. Starks didn't ultimately make it to them where they picked, so we don't have to necessarily know what they would have done, but I trust Sal, and Sal in the know. They like their guys. So the idea was we're going to run it back at safety, and we're just going to be better. And that's really what we're waiting to see, if they're going to be better there. But in the preseason so far, here's, I guess, the one way to say it. it started the same way last year did, which is Bishop not on the field.
Right.
And Hamlin showing, what he is, a reasonable backup.
And by default being the guy, because wasn't it Mike Edwards that we thought they wanted to start anyway?
Yes.
And he got injured too. So Hamlin has to play by default. Again, it's kind of crazy though that like all these they like Rapp more. Okay, they clearly do. They paid him a contract and he's never questioned, but any grading or any numbers on their safeties from last year show that Damar, Hamlin, and Taylor Rapp are like exactly the same. They're exactly the same player. Maybe Rapp is flying around a little bit more, and Hamlin is more the mental stuff. But like their results, exactly the same. But yet one guy is like entrenched; he's a starting safety, and the other guy is, is he even on the roster?
Well, I think Rapp would make opposing players think twice. I mean, he's somebody that he hits hard.
Yep.
Hamlin,
he flies around.
Hamlin actually used to be that. I remember the first introduction to Hamlin was him getting a targeting penalty, maybe. He was a guy that did that from time to time.
At least it was that one. I remember that one.
One play. Maybe it's just one play that sticks out in my mind, like in his rookie season, maybe.
But really, it's what do they want to be? Also, we all think they want Poyer and Hyde again, right? But how much do they really feel like they need it? Because having two safeties that good, not just for the Bills in the NFL, is rare. To have two guys that long, especially, but. Like that position, there's a reason why Taylor Rapp is paid so little. There's a reason why those salaries are so down at that position and guys don't often go early in the first round. It's kind of a big thing, I think, when Hamilton.
Yep.
Where does Hamilton even go? Kyle Hamilton can go like 5th overall.
No, I went mid-late first round.
The value of that position is pushed down a little bit. It's almost kind of treated like the running back of the defense. Like, we think we can just get by at this position and be okay. That's how a lot of teams do it, but
it's not how every team does it.
And not every team. And my surprise is that the Bills have kind of done that the last 2 years, because I've always felt like we're a team that would never do it that way. That the second Hyde and Poyer left or weren't as good anymore, like they're going after that position. They're getting a star or they're doing first round stuff. Like they're going to go after it. And it's been more for 2 years now, even 3 years. Like, no, we're just good with going with, replacement level guys and being okay. And one second round pick at it.
Yeah, and I'm looking up Micah Hyde's contract history, because when the Bills signed him to a deal,
it was decent, right?
It was,
but it wasn't like top of the position.
No, but it was $6 million per year,
which then
in
for safety.
2017.
Yeah,
and right now Rapp is less than 4. So evolution of the position, how much you want to pay, I get all that. As you're laying that out, I think about one team that. You're right. What do they want to be? Do they want to be a team that uses their safeties in such a way that it can dictate everything else that they do? They had been that. I don't know if they can be that still. They might want to be, but just kind of waiting to get there. What did Baltimore, you mentioned Kyle Hamilton. They took Starks.
Right. So that's two first-round picks on
safeties. 2 first-round safeties.
That's it's a lot more.
It's a lot more invested in the position. Again, you can build a football team however way you want. We can't sit here and say we want them to build with wide receivers in the first and safeties in the first and defensive ends in the first. You got to make your choices. This is something Brandon Beane has to do and his staff have to do, is pick how they want to do it.
Well, and also, I don't know that the Bills didn't want desperately to get Kyle Hamilton. He went 14th overall. How are the Ravens there? Are they trading up for him? They must have been, right? No, that's the year Lamar is hurt. They missed the playoffs. So they're picking 14th. The Bills haven't had that season. If Josh had injuries 3 years ago and they missed the playoffs in some fluke year and they're picking 14th, they might have Kyle Hamilton on the team right now. So in that one specific instance, that might be part of the reason why they don't have him. And like you said, we don't know what they would have done at 30 this year.
803-0550 our phone number, and 1-888-550-2550.
I will say Dax Hill and Lewis Seen, though, were first-round picks that same season the Bills passed on when they went with Elam.
Dax Hill to Cincinnati?
Yep.
And Seen, of course, who was here for a little while after he left Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Phil in Buffalo. Hey, Phil.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. Yeah, McDermott's defense over the years, that kind of bend-don't-break kind of approach, the safeties have to take the right angle and make sure they make the tackle when the running back gets into that second-tier level, and then don't let the long pass beat you. I mean, that's really what they ask their safeties to do. They don't ask them to do a lot more, and that's really all you need for in that defense. Of course, it'd be great if they got something a little bit more than that, but that's all they've really wanted over the last several years, it seems like to me.
Yeah, that's what they've wanted to be, and I think we still think that's probably what they want to be, right? They don't want big plays over the top. They want to keep everything in front of you, and we're going to run at you with our fist held high like a boxer and try to punch the ball out. Like I still feel like that at their core is what they want to be. And for that, I think that, though, is part of the equation as to why it's important to them for their safeties to have reps and experience in the system and be locked in with communication between the two so that you don't have a play like last year in Houston where Nico Collins is a 75-yard touchdown over your heads. They've never allowed plays like that. And I have to think part of how they treat safety with all the experience, playing together, all of that, is so that plays like that never happen. And they've been very good at letting that never, ever happen. So when you've got a guy that, I'll go back and watch, see if there was someone else that was on the hook too. Bishop gets the blame for that Nico Collins play. And that play lives in my head as that's part of the reason why he doesn't play last year. Is because they're afraid of that play with him. And Damar Hamlin might get exposed in man coverage and might not be that athletic to come up and make big plays. But why is he on the field? Because they have more faith that doesn't happen when he's out there.